Hello, hello. Thank you for checking in. Great to see everybody. It's Monday, Motivational Monday, and I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling so much collective sadness about so many things. I've been really upset about the whole, Puerto Rico's like just dying out there. And now today, some crazy old man went into uh, his hotel and had like 20 guns and was just knocked out the window and just started shooting a huge crowd down below of people that were watching a country music concert. And there was like at least right now, and numbers are still counting, at least 60 people were killed and like 400 people were injured either by bullets or the giant stampede. When you have like thousands of people running and screaming because a crazy gunman is shooting people. So it's Sturgis guy says, why did they do it? David Jones says Tom Petty died. Oh, I haven't read that. I'm not sure about that. But I do know the guy, they haven't come up with any reasons. I mean, there was a lot of like chat things and fake news stories that people trying to send out on the internet saying that this guy was affiliated with this organization or this organization. And the FBI said he's not affiliated with anything. He didn't join ISIS. He's not, it wasn't Democratic, Republican, political. The guy, I think he was just crazy. And it was the guy that nobody expected to do. Nobody knows why he did this. And as far as anybody who knows him, his family and friends, everybody's pretty shocked. There was apparently no sort of warning signs, except for the fact that he had a whole bunch of guns. But and David Jones says apparently Tom Petty has also died, had a heart attack. So um, who knows what's. I don't know if this guy left any sort of note or anything, but and naturally, like terrorist groups are trying to say, yeah, that was our guy. That because if you're a terrorist, I mean, anything that happens, you're gonna. If they could claim that Katrina or not Katrina, but all the hurricanes were produced by them, they would. But the FBI says he's not affiliated with anything, just a regular old man who apparently went crazy and shot out a bunch of people. Hi, Blair Cooper. Yeah. Don Tween says there's no rhyme or reason. Yeah. But one of the big things, and everybody's, whenever this happens, and it's happened so many times, there's a whole bunch of people like myself who said, why don't we have stronger gun rules? And a whole bunch of people that says, no, we need more guns, especially the NRA, because this is when their sales go through the roof. People who say, no, we need more guns to protect ourselves. But the thing is, this guy had like semi-automatic, like military guns. So he could sit up there and be shooting those rapid fire where there's like thousands of bullets going off at a time. He had like 20 guns, and not just regular shotguns that you would use for hunting or defending yourself, but the kind of clips that is like 100 bullets a minute or something like that. So he was able to just be like, and he was up in a hotel like 10 stories up. So it's not like even if somebody on the ground would have been impossible to shoot him. Oh, and David Jones says he had fully automatic weapons. Yes, and really, is there any reason for people to have fully automatic weapons? Shouldn't there, we've had this debate so many times and everyone's like, oh, but I want my guns. Yeah, if he had just a regular gun where you've got to you can shoot one bullet at a time, there's a lot less potential for massive casualties. And Sam says it's not confirmed whether Tom Petty is alive or dead. So prayers for Tom Petty. I don't know what the chance is, but I like, seriously, sooner or later, people are going to have to say, okay, there's this fear that is really promoted by the gun companies and the gun lobbies that the government is going to take away your guns. So you need to not just buy guns, but have no rules to prevent you from buying guns. And that's not happening. They, for 8 years, they were like saying that Obama wants to take away your guns. If Hillary was elected, they're going to take away all your guns. That's really not happening. But there's common sense rules and regulations that should be in place that have been argued before, not selling guns to people that are convicted felons and or have mental illness. Seems like a logical thing that everyone would agree with. And those have been rejected when people have tried to make those rules in Congress. They've been rejected. And why? Because the gun lobbies give millions of dollars each year to politicians to stay on their side and not have any rules. Why don't they want rules? Because it all makes them money. The less rules, the more they make money. The more there's huge tragedies like this, the more they make money. So they don't want any rules. So for them, it's all about the money. And these politicians, they're like, oh, this is so tragic, but we don't want to take away your guns. So one of the news guys said, this is the price of freedom. No, that's not the price of freedom. Hi, Angie. Yeah, Dantween says the other sad part of that is when this happens, instead of dealing with gun control, gun sales go up. People get scared and they buy even more guns. Blair Cooper says people who are set on doing this will find a way to do it. It's not hard to modify a legally purchased weapon to make it automatic. But, well, that may be true, but that still doesn't mean we shouldn't at least set up precautions, and not sell automatic weapons. There's not much reason for that. And have common sense restrictions on, convicted felons and the mentally ill. Hi, Max Fernandez. Nobody's saying take away your guns. Let's just make it more sane, a little more sane. And just because somebody might be able to get it if they really want it, okay, yeah, that's true. But that doesn't mean we should say no rules. That still will reduce the amount of people. I mean, just because you say, that's like saying we shouldn't have rules on the highway for speeding because people are going to speed anyhow. Well, we know that some people are going to speed anyhow, but not everybody speeds. It goes for any rule. And Angie says it makes her sick. Yeah, it makes me sick too. And nobody knows as of now. Yeah, and this is what's called domestic terrorism. And we have thousands of people killed every year by Americans killing Americans with guns. And the number of people that are actually killed by terrorists every year, like real international terrorists in the US, very, very small number. The number of Americans killed by Americans, huge, huge number. Bye, Sam. Thank you for checking in. So, and really, the people that get you, the people that put out all these studies and get you the craziest about your gun rights are the gun lobbies, the NRA, and the gun companies, because it's all about money for them. Blair Cooper says nothing is known about the shooter, saying what is known about the shooter. So far, there's nothing really important known about this shooter. I mean, he's not affiliated with any sort of groups. He didn't have any sort of ideological, leanings towards any way. It's nobody. He just is a regular, plain Joe Schmo. 64-year-old guy, which is much older than you normally see with a serial killer. Nothing, I think he had like a traffic ticket some time. And he was a gambler. He was a professional gambler. He was in Vegas a lot. He lived kind of nearby. Totally just a quiet, private guy who, as far as his family knows, didn't have any history of mental illness. They're angry, no issues. So, yeah. So as of right now, there's no clue as to why he did this. But he did have 20 guns with him. He had, the mounts and stuff, the tripods to set him up, and he knocked out a window on the 10th floor. So nobody knows why. And he's not affiliated with any groups, regardless of all the fake. You're going to see fake things on Google and Facebook and Twitter about saying he was affiliated with some group. The FBI has already put out a statement. He's not affiliated with anyone. So David Jones says he heard they found him because, and he killed himself. Well, I'm sure they were able to find him because they were able to see, where the gunfire was coming from. It was a giant hotel. He was on the 10th floor, and he shot out the windows. They could see the light, the light of the shots. The spark of the shots. They could see it where it was coming from, but he was far away and way up high. So he had automatic with the sights. So he took a hammer and, knocked out the window, and was just up there on his perch way up high, just shooting people like they were ants. So, yeah. And so, naturally the police, went up there and stormed the room, but he had already killed himself. So David Jones says it was on the 32nd floor. I'm not sure what floor he was on. David Jones says 32nd floor. Okay, he was up really high. He was not in any sort of location where anyone on the ground, even if they had a weapon, could possibly shoot him. Sturgis Guy says we need robots, millions of robots to make sure humans live in peace. Well, I don't know. Sturgis Guy, that just brings us one step closer to the robot apocalypse. The robots get smarter and smarter and decide that they don't need us. the best way. Yeah. So it's very disturbing. And it's also disturbing that Puerto Rico is in such dire conditions, worse than Katrina, worse than anything else. Like right now, I just read 5% of the island. That's an island of 3.4 million people. Only 5% of the island has power. They have been 2 weeks for a lot of most places without food or water. The entire island, like all the buildings, practically all the buildings are destroyed. People are just like, it's crazy. And the mayor of Puerto Rico um, was on the news saying, please, please, we need help. People are dying. We need help. The 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 aid is not getting. There's not enough aid. It's not coming fast enough. People are dying. Anyone who's listening to this, please help us. And she's out. She's living in shelter because her home is destroyed. The mayor is living in a shelter. She's out there wading in the water, helping people all day long. People are out there trying to clean things up, rescue people. So instead of being empathetic, Donald Trump decides to attack the mayor and say she's doing a bad job, that Puerto Rico didn't pay their bills. What kind of horrible things is that to say to a United States territory, 3.4 million Americans, Puerto Ricans are Americans, are in these dire straits. And this is his response. Mayor of San Juan. Linda says she missed that. Sorry. Yeah. He was tweeting over the weekend about, and when the mayor was saying this and saying that there was bad leadership and that in Puerto Rico and they're just waiting for other people to do things for them. Meanwhile, there's pictures. Puerto Ricans are not waiting. They're doing what they can, but the entire electricity, everything's destroyed. So yeah, and he went golfing over the weekend and went to a golf tournament, and Puerto Rico's begging for help, and he dedicated a golf tournament, like the statue, the golf trophy, to Puerto Rico. That it does. I don't know about you, but that is just Puerto Rico's dying. Puerto Rican 3.4 million people are in distress, and you dedicate a golf trophy to them. That is really not helpful, and it sounds kind of insulting. David Jones says, a lot of talent, the trucks can't get to them because the bridges are out. Linda says maybe it's made of gold. No, it's not made of gold, and it's not like they're getting the trophy, Linda. He's not even giving it to them. He's just dedicating in name to them. That is absolutely not helping. But and the military guys, generals that were the guys who were in charge of Katrina, they said that this is like 10 times, 100 times worse than Katrina. This is the entire, yeah. There's been, yeah. Yeah, so Puerto Rico is really in trouble. And, it's the contrast between, we saw the response that was in Houston and the response in Florida. And then, so we had the same kind of disasters happening, Houston, Florida, and Puerto Rico. And Houston and Florida got a much faster, stronger response. Puerto Rico is getting a really slow, smaller response. And they are still Americans. They should be getting, they're still 3.4 million Americans. So anyhow, oh my goodness, it is 5:48. All right, so this is distressing for everybody between Vegas and Puerto Rico and all this stuff. And everybody trying to turn this into political issues. Linda says she's depressed. Yeah. So, all right. So I will be back tomorrow for Traumatic Tuesday. This is Melancholy Monday. I want to thank you guys for coming to see me because you're awesome. I don't know, Blair. I hope so. Bye. Thanks, Linda. Bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.